Olivia, I think it's time that we tell them why we've been gone for so long.
I'm not sure if I'm ready, like fully emotionally prepared, but I know that it's past due. Like we've been gone for way longer than anticipated.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have questions about what's been going on since then.
All right, well, I guess we have to give the people what they want.
So we back, baby.
What's up, y'all?
We just playing.
Oh my gosh, it feels good to be back. It really does.
Every time we're step away from it, when we get back, it is that moment of like, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
So let us bring y'all in. Welcome back to the Black Girl Flow podcast.
Woo!
It's your girl, Liv.
And Lex.
And we're so grateful to be in space with you all.
Yeah.
We took a little summer hiatus.
Correct.
We initially were like, let's just do a month. Like we're gonna do a month and then we're gonna come back refreshed, ready to go. But it's been 2 months, maybe going on 3.
But who's counting?
And we really are just excited today to get into what we've been up to, why we thought it was really important to take a bit of a hiatus, and what you guys can expect from us, because I know that we've been in the podcast game for the past 4 years, consistently putting out content every Wednesday. And this was a bit of a big deal for us to take a break and to figure out, okay, what's happening. We've never really allowed us to do that. So Lexi, you might have to give us the honors of bringing in the pulse check of it all.
Oh yeah, the just truly how are we doing of it all.
Yeah.
And I think we have to be honest too. The reason, we had been going so hard and so consistently in the game, and to be quite honest, and we wanted to bring you all and come back to the podcast being really transparent about everything we went through, because y'all, it was not cute for a minute. We were creatively just struggling to maintain. Didn't have any inspiration. We were personally really depleted and not doing well individually.
No.
Our friendship was cracking. And if I really had to be honest with you all, there was a point where we had to ask the question of if we were going to keep this podcast. That's the real of it. And we're going to kind of unpack all of that in episodes to come. But I think we're coming back into this space, as hopefully I can speak on our collective pulse check, of feeling really renewed, our renewed commitment to a lot of things, and really excited to vision collectively, because this Black Girl Flow brand would be nothing without you all. And we feel so privileged to be a part of it, that so much more is possible than what we could even vision.
Absolutely.
And so we have to be so intentional about creating new space to be able to hold that vision. So that we're super pumped about. And is that fair? How are you feeling about that?
You couldn't have said it better. I mean, touching on that piece of feeling drained emotionally, spiritually, and we talk a lot and live through living with one another. Yes. And regardless of whether we're putting out episodes, like our lives together don't stop. I'm still coming home and managing my relationship with you, managing my relationship with family and friends. And I think for me, if we're just being completely honest and actually just rewinding all the way back, I've been in a space of trying to rebirth myself, if you will. Like feel like I'm on the, I've been saying I've been on the verge of rebirthing myself. And I think when I'm in spaces are just the mind frame of what does that next chapter look like, it's really important for me to have time alone and to process what I'm releasing and letting go and what I'm bringing into my life. But it was really hard for me to communicate what my needs were, what my desires for the vision was, and how to move forward through it. Because I think this entire year we've been telling you guys, like, we're trying to take this to the next level. We're going to be more community focused. You can expect more from us. But what do we do when the vision isn't actually coming into fruition? And we're also just not looking at the vision the same.
Oh, yeah. I think that is a really good point.
Yeah.
Of like, we had two different pictures that we were operating from, and there was just friction. I would categorize as like nails on a chalkboard, just what is going on. And I'm really proud of how we leaned into that. And even in the hardest of times of needing to communicate with each other, still made room and growth to just go back to the basics of it all, which at the core of it is Olivia and I's friendship. So much of what we've modeled in this podcast and in this community is our sisterly bond.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what has brought and created the life that Liv and I have together. And if that's not good, then nothing else we do is good. And so that, coupled with a lot of major life changes, y'all, was a recipe for looking raggedy. We were out here raggedy. I was Kurt. You were all over the place. Like we were struggling.
And I think one question that I've been asking myself is like, what do you do with guilt and what do you do with shame? Mm-hmm. Because I think that's something that we've both experienced living with one another, trying to figure out how to best show up within our friendship, also roommate, also podcast, because it feels like a scale where if one thing is really good, then we've got to check on the other thing. Mm-hmm. And there can be a lot of guilt or shame when you say you're going to do something, but then you don't follow through with it. And that builds this like lack of trust because you're not showing up in the way that you promised or that you committed to. And there was a lot of that on my end of just feeling like I want to enact the vision, but I feel so depleted with work. I feel like I don't know where my like actual career and life path is headed. Mm-hmm. And so it's hard for me to focus on this beautiful project and baby that we've put into the world and show up vulnerably when I haven't had the time to check in with myself for an extended period of time, because it's like you think you're doing the work until you're just triggered in different ways. And I find that living with someone that can actually point to those things, but also being in business with someone that can be like, hey girl, you're not showing up the way that you said that you're going to show up, really allows you to take a step back and be like, like I'm not actually taking the time for myself that I think I'm taking.
Right.
And so we came back and we were like, okay, so what are we doing?
Correct. And one of those things of what are we doing was we're not going to do this.
Yeah.
And that was really real. But I think kind of taking us out of the pulse check and kind of what is the core of this update is this idea of modeling that taking care of yourself and prioritizing yourself really does have a ripple effect that can strengthen a collective. You know, Liv is being very vulnerable and kind of that experience of guilt and shame. And I, in the break that we had, also had to rediscover kind of what my creative fuel was. And I was in a process of downsizing my life. And y'all will hear a lot about that because you might notice the new space that we're in. So that was me taking inventory of my life and the projects and where I was putting my time and really trying to be intentional about getting rid of and shedding, not of rebirth, but just a shedding of what's important to me, because what is important to me, I want to put all of my attention to, because what you pay attention to grows. So there was a true distance that was created for us to both tend to ourselves. And I want Black women, particularly everyone who's listening, to see the value in that, of how it is a radical thing to ask for, of the time to invest and care for yourself. And in doing that in safe community can actually bring you back to the table with a renewed grounding and a new energy to re-engage. And I think that's what we're coming back into. And that's what I'm most excited about trudging forward with, because that type of strength and connection is what will take us to the next level. Because in a weird way, we've also already arrived, and we never gave ourselves credit for that because we never stopped. We just kept going, which at times you need to do. And then you arrive and you realize, wait, we actually can cash out on some of this currency we've put into the work and rest. And I just want people to see that process of choosing yourself and also still choosing community in the collective. And when you give yourself time, even if it takes more than the 1 month you anticipated, you come back better for it.
Right. So take this as our recommitment to y'all.
Yes.
And recommitment to being open and vulnerable and transparent. Again, like you said, Lexi, like we founded this community on our sisterly bond, and it wouldn't be right for us to just show you the pretty and perfect and, you know, joyful moments without also bringing you in on the things that we're struggling with as we're growing older and expanding our lives more. And I'm really lucky to be in a committed partnership with you so that we can continue just growing our friendship and deepening our understanding of ourselves as we're on this journey. So
I know.
Wow.
I hear that and I just get tickled on the inside.
Yeah.
And so I hope you all feel the warmth of that renewed commitment. And we really in this gang, okay? Y'all, like the Earth Tribe vibe we are thriving. It's only getting better with age. And so I'm curious, Liv, if you want to tell them a little bit about kind of what to expect from us in the next coming weeks and just in the invitation to come along with us in this evolution.
Right. So one thing, don't get it twisted. We're still navigating our transformation and understanding how we can deepen our relationship with y'all and our community. And so we're really hoping to discuss more of the nitty gritty of what these life changes that we've experienced, bringing you in on just this new chapter and this recommitment to the community and what that's going to look like. So we're coming back and we're going to be sharing more about what that will look like in the future.
And staying core to our values of building and community centered in living a life in flow with across your life, love, and identity and in a collective. And we're hoping that that can become ever more interactive and ever more community based as we move forward. And so we want to bring you along with that as we make those evolutions and changes. But we miss y'all and we're ready to be back talking and chatting it up with you all and sharing so many of those life updates. And I'm excited to bring the raw, unfiltered of some of those hard conversations, some of those major life updates, and some of the visioning we've done of what we think is possible.
Yeah, we're in this for lifers. Hey, well, thank y'all so much for joining us on this update. We can't wait to share more with you soon. And we are leaving you with peace, love, blessings.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.